There was a Grammy roundtable last week, Thursday and Friday before the Grammys, and that basically is where radio stations can go. And they bring certain people around to each station, and they do interviews. Maybe there's 20 radios. How many were there? 20?
Maybe more. Probably closer to 40.
40 radio stations there. Yeah. Psycho Mike was there with the King of Mexico, and they interviewed some of the celebrities. And the King of Mexico was nice enough to isolate some of the areas where... Here's the thing about Mike. Mike loves Mike. And Mike loves talking about Mike. And Mike loves talking to other people about Mike. So that's what this is. This is Mike talking about Mike. The first guess is Rachel Ucatel. Ucatel. How do you say it? Ucatel?
Ucatel, I think.
Ucatel.
Okay.
She, of course, was Tiger Woods.
One of his many mistresses.
Mistress, the hottest one, right?
Yeah.
She was on Celebrity Rehab.
Mm-hmm.
The hottest one. Okay, so she came into Loveline, and Mike starts off by saying that maybe there's some unfinished business from that visit.
I feel like there's a lot of unfinished business after your last visit to Loveline.
Probably.
And here I'd like to focus in on the most important part.
All right, the most important part.
Yeah.
Unfinished business.
Okay.
Well, Dr. Drew believes that every female that we both mutually come in contact with is in love with me. Okay?
Okay.
And so I don't take what he says very seriously.
Uh-huh.
But there's been a couple cases of female guests coming into Loveline where I'm like, you know what? Good old Dr. Drew might be right.
They're in love with you?
I think you, Rachel.
Really?
Well, I felt like there was a spark.
Hold on. Did Dr. Drew tell you that I was in love with you?
No.
All right. Now, that's funny because Dr. Drew didn't say Rachel Ucatel was in love with him. So what was that whole setup thing? Why bring that up if this wasn't an example of that? Oh, no, he didn't tell me you love me.
Oh, no, she was asking if Dr. Drew really did talk to her because they had previously talked.
You introduced the topic by saying, Dr. Drew says all women who come in are in love with me. And then she said, did he say I was in love with you? And you said no.
No, I know. I guess you're missing out on for
So that's just your way of bringing up that every girl loves you.
No, he really does believe that he's my matchmaker and that all girls... And I, for the most part, go, you're out of your mind. There's no way Diora Baird wants to date me. With Rachel Ucatel, I really believe that. And then it turned out that she had a conversation with him while I was out of the studio, and that's what she was referring to right there.
All right, we're 34 seconds in now, B. 34 seconds in.
All right.
I swear to God, no. But with you, and there's there's 2 or 3 I can name, I really feel like there was a spark.
Well, don't make me jealous. Who were the 2 or 3 others?
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So what are you asking me?
I'm asking if was I wrong in interpreting that some type of love between us?
I became a little bit attracted to you when you were talking about
everything really slowly and spending a lot of time
By
talking.
the way, I mock Mike's game as much as the next guy. He's a terrible conversationalist, but it sure seems to work. It sure seems
At
that
times.
Mike has pretty, and it doesn't matter how bad he is in a conversation. Listen to Rachel. She's like, now she's getting to the part where she's talking about how she was attracted to Mike.
what
so whatever
makes you
he's doing
attractive is your confidence and your ability to gab about anything. Honestly,
Fantastic.
That's what makes you so attractive. I mean, among the fact that you're very handsome.
There it is. Straight from the horse's mouth.
All right, 1 minute and 8 seconds in, and I edited out maybe another minute of how long it took him to get to that part.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, you need to be available on staff to edit Mike every night before what he says goes onto the radio.
I don't have that kind of time, dude.
I do love that the entirety of the interview was how much Rachel probably likes Mike.
Right. That
was the topic of conversation.
Rachel Ucatel sat down, and Mike said, I'm going to talk to her about loving me.
Right.
That happened. Now, Mumford & Sons sit down. Mike finds them very stylish. Mm-hmm. But what does Mike want to know? Does he want to know what they think about fashion? Does he want to know what Mumford & Sons think?
Well, you guys are very stylish dudes. Worst,
thank you.
Least stylish city in the planet. Because I have my take on it.
You've got your take?
Yeah.
Ready? Is it in America? Can I try and guess what that is?
Okay, so now what he's doing is he's having Mumford & Sons guess what his opinion of the least fashion city is in the world. Okay. So they're guessing what Mike thinks.
Well put. It's not in America, but there are some really bad cities in America when it comes to overall male style. Berlin for me.
Really?
Yeah. So that's it. That was part of the interview with Mumford & Sons.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned a lot about Mumford & Sons.
I want you to guess what I think about fashion.
Well, I mean, we could have talked about performing with Bob Dylan and stuff, but who cares?
I agree. Talking about you is so much more interesting.
That's one step away from, hey, what number am I thinking of?
Yeah.
It really is.
Way sweeter.
It really is. It's unbelievable. So now he's talking to Carrie Hilson.
Oh, my God.
Nice.
She's R&B/pop singer. And
That's good.
And one of the hottest chicks on the planet.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, just so hot.
You know, I do believe in love. I do believe that there are men out there. You know, they are kind of a dying breed.
You're looking at him, Hilson.
A real man, really? All right.
Yeah. He does the fake, hey, I'm joking laugh. But he really means, hey, you're looking at him.
But I was unbuttoning my shirt as I said it.
I'm that guy.
You're not so bad yourself.
Thank
Do you
you.
have a Valentine?
No, I don't. And
Would you like to be my Valentine?
I would love to be your Valentine.
I don't have
Miss
one
Hilson.
either.
Really? Carrie Hilson's my Valentine?
Yeah. Hey, who's my Valentine? Let's talk about me and Valentine's Day.
You can't hate on me for that. Carrie Hilson want to be my Valentine.
Look, the entire content of this is Mike talking about Mike. We don't need those celebrities there. You could just go sit down in a chair and talk about yourself without Carrie Hilson sitting across from you.
Oh, yeah, but there's free food.
Okay, well, I didn't think about that. Weird Al, Bean, your hero.
Weird Al, yes.
Mike's hero as well.
Yeah,
Right.
really.
And Weird Al sits down, and Mike has to tell Weird Al what Mike has been doing his whole life.
It's so strange, and I'm not just saying this to try to, engender some type of relationship between us, but I essentially kind of built my career in radio and everything by writing parody songs. I've always wanted to and always have.
All right, so where's Weird Al yet? Nowhere. I just want you to know that I write parody songs.
Time out.
I'm a parody songwriter.
For the guy who is maybe the greatest parody songwriter of all time.
Right.
And for me, who is a guy who loves doing it and wants to do it in the future.
So you're saying, hey, Weird Al, how do you do it? No, you're not. No, you're not.
Okay, fine.
You're saying,
You're right,
let's talk about me writing parody songs.
But I'm saying I was trying to let him know how much he meant to me because of my appreciation for the art form of parody song.
Written parody songs, so I've looked up to you a tremendous amount my entire life.
Well, I'm very flattered. Thank you.
All right, I'm very flattered. Thank you. Is the one time Mike lets him speak. All right, good. Now he goes on.
And my only dream in life is to write a children's book.
Okay, now, first of all, no way. Second of all,
That's the truth.
no way.
We've actually discussed that on the air, so there you go.
Weird Al just wrote a children's book. So now Mike's saying, you write parody songs. I write parody songs. You wrote a children's book. I want to write a children's book.
Yes, I'm saying, well, it's
you
amazing.
didn't say what's your children's book about or anything else. You said, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is maybe if you were to focus on the person that's sitting behind the microphone, I don't know, then they could talk and we could find out more about them.
Ah, come on.
You know what we're finding out in this interview? We're finding out about you.
That I want to write
I got a
children's book.
lot about Mike.
Right, so we don't need Weird Al.
Okay.
You
But
can
I
just
don't
sit there and talk about how
Fair
much you
enough.
like parody
Fair enough.
songs.
Then, okay, you're right. We don't need Weird Al. Let's go. Next interview.
I don't think those other topics and those other people are very interesting to Mike, though, Kevin. That's what's going on here.
Right, because Mike likes to talk about Mike.
Well,
I
do I
wanna
want
write
to
it.
talk to Carrie Hilson about No Boys Allowed, her album? Do I want to talk to Mumford & Sons about performing at the Grammys? No! I want to know about their style and their
No, you
Valentines.
don't. You want to have them guess what you think about style.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. All right, here's the end of the Weird Al.
Are you serious? I'm dead serious. I mean, when people ask me what's the one thing you could do before you die, it's write a children's book.
There you go. So he got to say, I'm very flattered, thank you, and are you serious?
Serious, right.
So that's the hard-hitting interview with Weird Al.
That's a good use of 3 minutes of Weird Al's time.
Yeah.
So it was way longer than 3 minutes.
We didn't have time. Listen, I had to cut down every clip. Every clip was like 5 minutes of Mike talking about Mike, but we didn't have time to play it all. So I'm giving you the nuggets, but just know that there was a lot more of Mike talking about Mike. And I'm just suggesting perhaps we're wasting those opportunities to talk to celebrities.
Okay. And Dave goes alone next year.
Fantastic.
All right.
I'm in.